In one of the oldest cities in the world, we are witnessing a thriving era of innovation, and the Hebrew University is at the forefront. Our game-changing work has transformed the way people drive, advanced the development of animal-free meat production, made the world a more secure place by enhancing crime-fighting technology and cybersecurity, and are creating a greener planet by developing biofuel through nanotechnology. In a country with the most startups per capita, we are leading the way. Our research has led to over 130 commercialized ventures, more than 10,000 patents registered, and over 2,800 inventions. In 100 years, we've gone pretty far, but our greatest achievements are still ahead of us. Join us in harnessing Jerusalem's innovation for the benefit of people everywhere. The Hebrew University of Jerusalem, a tradition of innovation.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Nama Ryan Kaplan. I'm from the International Office of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and I'm very pleased to be sharing this session here with you. We have here guests and students, candidates from basically all over the world. So it is wonderful to have you joining us tonight. If I could be a bit cheeky and urge you and ask you to open your cameras if possible. It's much more pleasant to be able to see your faces and hear your remarks while we give this presentation. So today we've gathered to see the virtual info session of the Jerusalem School of Business of the MBA program 360. We have here today our team of the International Office of the
I want to tell you, have a very pleasant
business. Can you please mute yourself while we are talking? Later on, we'll have a Q&A discussion where you'll be able to ask your questions. In the meanwhile, it is very important for us to be able to present you the information. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the Dean of School of Business, Professor Nicole Adler. Nicole, it's wonderful to see you here.
Thank you, Naama. It's brilliant to be here and to see all these candidates. So my name is Nicole, and I'm a professor of operations research and operations management, which today is changing its name to business analytics. And I'm very happy to talk to you about our International Startup 360 degree MBA program. So we call it 360 because the idea here is to show the whole ecosystem from all of its aspects. I'm going to start, if I'm allowed to. Why would you choose Israel? Well, we have a very exciting country, to be honest with you. It's tiny, but never boring. We are among the leaders in innovation around the globe. When we look at it from a perspective of per capita, the number of people involved in this story is very large. There are thousands of startups, and most importantly, 250 centers of R&D for all of the major companies, which is where our students normally go work. We spend the most on R&D as a percentage of GDP. There are many inventions that are used all over the world. In fact, my laptop is filled with stuff that was developed in Haifa, which is a city in the north of Israel. We can talk about the USB stick and cherry tomatoes, which actually comes from our campus in Rehovot, and without seeds too. That's also come out of there. We've been named Startup Nation. I don't know how useful that title is, but it is definitely one of the important industries in this country. The Hebrew University is just over 100 years old. We're located on 6 different campuses, and the business school is in Mount Scopus, which is just to the north of Jerusalem and has the most amazing views of the old city. There are just under 1,000 faculty members, but we're trying to grow and always looking for new members. with a 24,000 student body, 10% of whom are international students, as you would be, and 10% of those students are studying at the business school, coming from over 90 countries. Why would you want to study with us? Well, we can talk about a lot of awards and excellence among the faculty at the university. The gentleman that you can see here receiving a Nobel Prize, his name is Robert Ullman, and he is from the Department of Economics and Mathematics. We also have some young guys, Lyndon Strauss, who won the Fields Medal in Mathematics, Abel Prizes last year, and we appear on Reuters' list of the top 100 most innovative universities. These are all reasons why it's worthwhile coming to our university. And now I'm going to talk about the specific program that maybe you are interested in. So this is an 11-month program, and it is a full-time program. I do not think that you could probably work and study at the same time. It's pretty intensive. We teach you entrepreneurship and innovation. We introduce you to an internship, which in the first semester is a two full day participation in a venture capital fund, and in the second semester at a startup that VC funded. And then that practical experience, together with what we've taught you in the classroom, culminates in a summer semester that we call the TIP program. I will talk about each of these now. Okay. There are core courses in all MBA programs. These include microeconomics, if you have not studied it, and the basics in finance and accounting, in organizational behavior and marketing, in my field of analytics, in data science, and in strategic management. So all of these courses are taught, unless, of course, you've studied business before, in which case you will get a bunch of exemptions from such courses, and you can choose more of the electives. The underlying Startup 360 courses start with Shaul Orbach teaching Introduction to VC World. So how do venture capitalists look at the ecosystem? How do they make decisions about in whom they're going to invest? And Shaul is an investor, which makes it all the more exciting, I think. And then we have Dr. Sharon Arieli teaching creativity and innovation. So from the startup perspective, and this is the way we're trying to introduce you to both sides of this ecosystem. We have courses in entrepreneurship, a VC funds seminar, which you get money to go find a company to invest in for real. We have the brilliant Dr. Dan Marom, who is very, very immersed in the whole field of impact investment. So to do with ESGs and figuring out how to invest in the good companies, in the good guys. And we also have a course where we compete with a group of university teams from around the world through the Wharton School. It's called the MINT program. And the internship, of course, is also included in Startup 360. And then we also have a series of innovation courses. For example, biodesign. This is quite an intensive course spread over both semesters, where we create teams between students in the Faculty of Medicine and in biology, chemistry, and so on, together with students from the Faculty of Computer Science and Engineering and the School of Business. Some of them create startups, and you're going to actually meet one of our alumni who has in fact gone on beyond this from the biodesign program. We started this year a Finnovation course, which is exactly the same idea, but in this case, in order to create startups in the field of finance, fintech. Financial innovation, which is taught by Glenn Yago. He teaches half a year at Berkeley and half a year in our place. Financial regulation worldwide. This is taught by Danny Shidlowski, who was a bank regulator in South America. So he has a lot of experience about how this works around the globe. And our very, very special Shoam Hoshin Hillel, who teaches negotiation. And then there's a bunch of elective courses. For example, Avi Kluger is teaching managerial listening skills, and he is one of the #1 experts in the world on this topic. We have Sharon Hosky teaching advanced marketing strategy, which is based on a game, and you will be competing with other teams in your class. Financial risk management. Then we have a bunch of courses taught by people, for example, from MIT. Alex is teaching blockchains. We have a crowdfunding and alternative markets where you literally meet the guys that set up these markets. So there's a lot of exciting stuff going on from which you can choose and build your degree. As I said, after you finish the first couple of semesters and done your internships, we then come to the 6-week summer program, truly intensive, exciting. You will be visiting a whole bunch of startups through tours, and you will be meeting the guys setting the hottest business trends today and all the latest technologies that are being run. The pictures here are Michael Mizrahi and Dan Marom, who are both lecturers in our place and running this program. At the end of the story, you will follow the business canvas model, create your own startup and a pitch, which I'm sure Alison, who's another very cool alumni of ours, will talk about shortly. And we will be inviting the angel investors and venture capitalists to come listen to your pitches. In summation, why us? Why would you come to the School of Business at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem? We're actually the oldest business school in Israel. We really do have world-renowned professors at this university. The latest Stanford top 2% of scientists included 6 members of faculty in our place, including Ronen Feldman, whose field is artificial intelligence, Avi Kluger in the field of management, who we talked about as teaching the listening course, and even myself as an expert in transportation, and smart transportation is one of the leading topics today and going to create the next revolution, at least I believe. We are joined by a bunch of international professors from Berkeley, MIT, Duke, Kelly, and London Business School. Noni is teaching right now in our second semester here. We are AACSB accredited, and basically it's a cool place to come visit. You will be joining 16,000 alumni that work in basically every company you can imagine, connected with R&D, connected with startups. Mobileye, of course, is one of the leading companies in Jerusalem today, set up by Amnon Shashua, one of our professors from computer science. And I write endless letters to many of these companies in order when my students are looking for jobs at the end of their degree. And now, much more exciting than me, I'm very happy to start the introduction of our alumni, and specifically Maria. Maria, are you here?
Yes, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm very happy to be here.
Excellent. So Maria went through this program 2019 and has been doing truly exciting stuff ever since. And the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Professor Adler. Hello, everyone. As I mentioned before, I'm really happy to be here. It will not take long. You've already heard of how many exciting things there are to learn in the program. Particularly my experience, I feel it was truly amazing. I already had kind of like a business degree back in Peru. I'm from Lima. So I tried to take as many electives and innovation courses as possible. So I took financial innovations, biodesign, fintech, lots of them. Something that I would like to express is that it's indeed 360. Like really, like you get to see the point of the entrepreneur, and of course the skills and abilities you need to have, but also something that I've never even considered was the investors side, venture capital, angel investors, and so on and so forth. So that's very, very important. I was lucky enough to do my internships in our crowd, which is the most active VC there in the Startup Nation. So I got the opportunity to learn a lot, and it kind of like it was meant to be because it really complemented all the classes that I had. Besides, as I mentioned before, I took biodesign. So I was a biodesign fellow. As Professor Adler mentioned, yes, it's a multidisciplinary group. We work on an idea. We were able to visit a hospital, the ICU, the cardiology departments, every single department there is in the hospital, and we came up with a need. And we developed that solution during the program. And once we finished the program, we were able to have a provisional patent with the help of the university and Hadassah. So after that, we already have an important IP. So we decided to move forward with a spin-off and a startup. So yes, with the Cerise, we're still in the process of. It's a medtech startup. It's basically a medical device, and we are really, really excited about it. I think that, yes, classes are amazing. Theory is great, and you actually need it. But practice, like the ability to get to know professors, that they're not only professors, but they can also be your mentors. Just the experience of just getting like a glimpse of the venture capital world helps you a lot if you want to be a CEO or just be in this world as an investor or as an entrepreneur. So I'm sure that you're gonna enjoy the program if you decide to take it. You will not regret it at all. And yes, so I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have in the chat. And yeah.
Maria, it's great seeing you. Thank you very much. I just wanted to ask, what was your experience here coming to Israel? Not only in the Hebrew University itself, in the classes, but with friends, meeting friends, not only international students, but also Israeli students. Can you tell us more about that?
I loved it. So I'm from a Latin American country, and for me, the Middle East was really, really far, and I was really, really afraid because I have no friend. Well, I had no friends, no family, no anything. And something that helped me a lot was the office for exchange or international students. Rothenberg was really fundamental for me because even though I arrived in a non-COVID world, we were able to go to activities together and have dinners and lunches and everything. I think that what really stood out for me was how friendly they were, even though we were in lockdown, and they knew that that we needed some type of emotional support. So yes, if you are just worried about the fact of not knowing anybody in Israel, that's definitely not a problem. Like it's really easy to integrate to the ecosystem and meet new people and have people from all over the world being just open. Something that I sense from the Israeli culture is that they're really open to immigrants or other people in general. So yeah, for me, it was very welcoming, very friendly, despite what I thought, so yeah.
Maria, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. You're great, and we're really proud of you. And as we said, you can ask Maria more questions in the chat or later on the quick Q&A session. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Raz. I'm the programs director. I will go briefly through some administrative stuff. I'll start with the admission requirements of the program. So we ask for your BA, undergraduate degree. We need your official transcripts from an accredited university with an overall GPA of 82 and above in Israeli terms. You can always send us your transcripts for evaluation if you'd like. We also require GMAT or GRE. We're only looking at the quantitative section of the exam. And if you want to see the equation, the formula, so you can always look at our website. Altogether, it has to sum up to 150. You can see all the details in our website. If you're not coming from an English speaking native language, so we also demand an English proficiency level, such as IELTS or TOEFL, 2 academic recommendations, from your professors, and if you can't find 2, so we can also receive a professional recommendation. Statement of purpose, you should write to us. Why do you think that you're fit to the program? Where do you see yourself in the future? What are your entrepreneurial manners? Short, it can be long, but it has to be interesting. Your resume, an interview. It's also another channel of acceptance to our program. It can either be with the administration, or the academic head of the program, or even a continuation interview with one of our alumni. Prerequisite courses in math and statistics for those who doesn't have the sufficient background in both topics, then we demand that you will participate in 2 preparatory courses prior to the program. The tuition fee is $30,000. A great private health insurance is included. Those who RSVP are eligible for 10% discount if they will apply until April 30th. We also give until up to 25% discount based on several criteria. Students that are coming from developing countries, outstanding students with an overall GPA of 90 and above in Israeli terms, and other criteria. University housing. Our students can either seek for off-campus housing independently, or alternatively, we offer an accommodation at the university dormitories in Mount Scopus. In a walking distance from the university, you can ask us, the team, for more information, and you need to make the request directly through us. As Maria mentioned, we offer through Rothberg International School, through its Office of Student Life and the Finance Office, all the full support that the international students need. For example, pre-arrival package. Prior to your arrival here, you get all the information that you need to know before your arrival to Israel. Academic advisors, buddy system, meeting students from the university, Israeli students, and other facilities that are that we supply in order to support you. Extra curriculum. We have all kinds of fun activities with our students. For example, we have sightseeing at the old city of Jerusalem. We had a tasty hummus workshop with our students 2 years ago, Shabbat dinners, and many other fun activities, which are especially designated for our own international MBA students. Now, I would like to introduce you to another awesome alumni of us with a great story that I hope she will share from the cohort of 2017-2018. Alison, are you with us?
I am here. Hello, everybody. My name is Allison. We have behind me my husband, who is a prospective potential student of Hebrew University. I finished in the program of 2017-2018. And I'll give you a little bit about my background and then share about my experience at Hebrew University, and feel free to ask any questions as I speak. So I currently work for Orcam Technologies. As Professor Adler mentioned earlier, Mobileye is a big company in Israel, and Orcam is the second company of the founder and CEO of Mobileye. So I've been working at Orcam now for the past 2 years. It's a wearable AI device company. Here's our, I don't know if you can see this, I don't even know where the camera is. Here's the product that I work on. It helps, we work on a mission that helps people who are visually impaired, people who are blind, people with hearing impairments, and now working on a product for the medical field. And I'll tell a little bit more about my story, but how I was introduced to Orcam all came through Hebrew University, specifically the TIP program, and really utilizing the networks that we had through the Hebrew University network. From New York, I've been living in Israel for the past 3 years until the pandemic, and now I've been working remotely, but hopefully able to come back to Israel soon, as I miss it very much, and so does my husband back there. And a little bit about Hebrew University. I think Jerusalem is one of the greatest cities in the world, and I'm from New York. And I was in New York last night, and the whole time walking through, all I could think about was how much I miss Jerusalem. I think Jerusalem, in terms of culture, has everything that you need. In terms of social life and diversity, it has everything there. And then in terms of professionalism, something really special about Jerusalem, I think, compared to even Tel Aviv and other cities, is that the startup ecosystem is so small and so close that people there really want to help keep high tech in Jerusalem, or expand from Jerusalem to other countries such as New York, the Middle East. But what's really exciting is that the Jerusalem ecosystem is really willing to help. And it's kind of like you have this small culture that I think in Tel Aviv and in other cities you often lose because it's so big and prominent. So I think that was one of the big strengths of being in Jerusalem. And a little bit about my experience at Hebrew University. It was actually, now that I look at the coursework and hear what Professor Adler said, I'm hoping I could come back and take more classes, because I love all the changes that have been made since my program. But one of my favorite parts of the program was the TIP program. And that was our summer program that was discussed. But during that program, we got to meet a lot of cool companies and VPs and CEOs from these companies. And everyone was so excited to be there and willing to help. And that's actually how I met my bosses now. The VP of R&D came to speak, and I started reaching out to them just to learn a little bit more about the project that I was working on the startup idea. And one thing led to the next. And a year later, when I was ready for a job, I reached out to them, and that's how I was connected with my company that I still work for today. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has. Or anything. I don't know what else to touch upon.
Alison, there was a question. They were asking a bit about the demographics of the classroom. Also, Maria, you can answer. The age of the students, where they're from.
I think something really cool about the international program is that you have the international program, which is really small and personalized, that you get to become really close with your classmates. My classmates were from all over. We had a few people from the United States, a bunch from South America, from Asia, from India, from Europe. And the age of the classmates, I mean, it really varied. People were in their 20s as old as their 40s. In terms of professionalism, it did also range. Some people had MBAs back in their native countries and were doing this because they wanted to get more involved in the Israeli ecosystem and more involved in the startup VC world. And there was people like me who were younger, but ready to continue my learning and get ready for that next step. But I think what's pretty cool about the program is that you're not just with the international program. Your classes are filled with Israelis, international students who are doing a semester abroad for their MBAs. And I think that part was really exciting because you get this small knit program, but also the opportunity to expand your network and really get immersed with people. You know, all the Israelis are working full-time jobs. So someone I saw wrote a question that they're looking to provide legal advice to startups and coming from Canada. And I think that's the perfect opportunity because you're in the class with Israelis who are working really cool jobs and in really cool startups, and you have the opportunity to network and meet with them all the time. So it's more than just your small class or small cohort. You have the opportunity to really get immersed in the Israeli ecosystem.
Alison, thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
And now we'll pass on to the Q&A. So I'm gonna, hold on. Okay, so we have some questions. Abjid, I'm sorry if I'm reading your name. Hold on, I'm stuck. Okay, here it is. So Abjid asked, can 2 recommendations be professional for people with 5+ years of experience? Raz, can you please answer the question?
Yes, we're aware of the fact that sometimes if you studied a long time ago, then it's a bit difficult to find 2 academic recommendations. So in such cases, we're allowing, we're accepting 2 professional recommendations, indeed.
Great.
I would like if Maria can share a little bit about her cohort, because I think that it really changed from Alison's cohort to Maria's.
Yeah, sure. My cohort was really small. We were only 8 people from China, Italy, Germany, myself from Peru, and I forgot where else. I think it's somebody from here even. So very, very diverse. About the age range, yes, it varied a lot, because even though I was in the younger side, because I'm in my 20s, we also had people with a lot of experience. I got to learn some stuff, some really cool life lessons from Jack, that he had like a lot of experience back in China. Gabriela, she was also older. So it was really interesting to see how one person could understand what the professor was saying in one way, and for me it was like in a different way, especially when it comes to the mindset of an entrepreneur. So yes, that was really, really interesting, really cool.
Thank you, Maria. We have another question from Oleg from Canada. He says he's a lawyer, and he asked, do the business school admits only entrepreneurs or professionals as well? Nicole, can you please answer the question?
I can certainly try. I'm not entirely sure I quite understand it. What I would say is that many people, our students, come from many different backgrounds. It's very different to a second degree in biology or in economics, where you kind of have to have done your first degree in that field. We're looking for people from many different backgrounds. The more diverse the class, the more interesting it is. So we have people who are coming from the sciences and want to learn how to create a business out of their idea. We have people coming from social sciences who are looking to change their CVs and to learn about how they could work in the startup world. We don't have so many artists, but I've even taught one of those who then explained to me that she'd learned a lot about where she should locate herself on a Friday morning when she goes out to try and draw caricatures for the tourists. And that she'd learned about how location is so very important. So we really do look for an entire mix of people. It's not important what you studied in your first degree, just so long as you did. It's not important where you've been working up until now, so long as you have. The more experience that you have in management, the easier it is for you to understand the classes, because we're talking about the trade-offs and we're talking about how the real world works. If you come with experience, you have a much greater, deeper understanding of all of those trade-offs. So there is an advantage to that. We have everything from 20 to 50-year-olds sitting in our class, and they help each other. And that's what's so exciting.
Thanks, Nicole.
If anybody wants to just open their video and or ask a question directly, you're very, very welcome.
We have another question from Jacqueline. He asked, how many electives one can take during the program? So you need to take at least 48 credits, but you can take as many electives as you want inside the business school and also courses outside of the business school. So it really depends of you. If you want to further your knowledge in any field that there is, you can absolutely do so.
If you find the time.
Of course, it's very intensive. So you need to take that into consideration. Let's see if there's any further questions.
There's a question about the GMAT score, but we wrote everything down in the chat, so it'll be much easier for you guys because it's specifics.
We don't have a minimum work experience, but the more you do have, the better it is for you to get the most out of this program.
We're looking for questions, but feel free to just open the camera.
There's a question from Shmuel. They're asking if students have access to all the Hebrew U facilities. It's a question I like because I like the answer.
Especially the sports facilities, right, Raz?
Exactly.
Yes, there is in Mount Scopus, one of the best sports centers in Jerusalem. Obviously, all of the facilities are open to the international students as well as the Israelis.
But it's the library that's the most important, and that's the most colorful and open for city hours.
I would like to add to that. I also played professional basketball while I was at the Hebrew University getting my MBA. I played for a professional team at the Hebrew University, but I had classmates who were more leisure athletes, and they joined club soccer teams, a few other sports that they found like through the Hebrew University that they were a part of. So I think there's lots of ways to get immersed within the amenities and like opportunities there, whether you want to use the library or be a part of clubs or career fairs or whatever it is. Sports, there's a lot of opportunities to get immersed in those programs as well.
Can I ask a question?
Please. Sure.
Yes, because I'm now learning Hebrew language in Hebrew University for more than a year. I'm literally living student village here. So I know kind of the student life here is amazing, but because I'm only taking the language course now, so I don't really know about the participants for the office of the career advice in the university. And I want to know, like, other than the amazing opportunities to participate for the internship in multiple stand-up and innovation companies, how the career management office of the school and what platforms can the school offer to the students?
Come and say hello to us. The campus will be open, okay, from the 4th of April. Hopefully we're done with all the vaccinations and so on. Please,
yes,
please let us be done, and we would be happy to talk to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If you don't know, just write us, where's the business school, and we'll tell you how to get in.
I kind of know there's a Chinese sign on the business school also.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, if you have a student visa, you are able to participate in the internship. Not only are you able to, you must. It's part of the program. It's actually a requirement of this international program. Okay, so yes, we sort out insurance and all the other stuff, and there is no problem.
This year's cohort, we have right now, this semester, 11 students starting the second semester from all over the world. The age range varies from, it's even more wider than Maria's. We have a 22 years old student, and we have a 52 years old engineer who used to work for Google for the last 8 years. A great guy. So,
and Jack worked for 15 years at Dell, and so lots of mix of different backgrounds.
Nicole, maybe the last question would be if you could let us tell us a bit about you've mentioned and we've mentioned the COVID-19 situation here, the university's facilities and within courses and studying. Would you please be able to elaborate more about what happened until now and what does the future indicate at the moment?
Okay.
And how do we think the next cohort or the next academic year look like?
You ask very hard questions.
I know, just get your crystal ball. And
Yes, so I'm going to rub it very carefully. Of course, last March, everything shut down. And within 1 week, we went entirely online. That was not simple, I have to admit. But we taught, we did continue. We were able to continue through the use of Zoom and Moodle is our whiteboard. And basically that's how we've taught in the last semester, the one that just finished. This semester we started last week, and from the 4th of April, which is when we come back after the Passover break, we're going to be going hybrid. So our classes will be held on campus for students that want to come. We have it, it's called Tav Yarok. You can come provided you have a proof that you have been vaccinated twice and waited a week beyond that, or you have recovered. And everybody in this country basically is able to be vaccinated from 16 years upwards. We vaccinated 600 immigrants and students like yourself. If you come to us, a couple of weeks ago, we vaccinated 600, and so next week we will give them the second vaccination. That's why we believe we can open, but we have in fact equipped all of our rooms so that everything can be put online as well, and students who are not able to come will be able to participate online too. So kind of what we would call a hybrid form. By October, here we hope that we're back to normal, okay? And you will be all on campus with us. If you come without a vaccination, you will have to go for 2 weeks into isolation, and then you will get a vaccine in this country. So that's the one thing that we do have, an amazing health system. We have 2 teaching hospitals connected directly to the university, and a faculty of medicine that's very, very impressive. So we hope that we will be able to continue and go back to normal by October. Thanks, Nama.
Hi, Shmuel, I just want to answer your question regarding, it depends on the bilateral agreement that Israel will most probably have with the United States, I guess, pretty soon. But I don't see any reason why not.
Just to say that the question was that if someone is vaccinated in the United States, does it apply in Israel? That's what Gaz is answering about.
Exactly.
And I sincerely hope so, because it's the same vaccination that we're getting here.
Actually, Shmuel, if I'm not mistaken, is a brother of our alumni, and he's also a candidate right now, so he's also here with us.
Excellent. This is what we want to hear. Bring your family, bring your friends. We have a good program. It's worthwhile coming. It was very nice to meet you.
very nice to meet you.
Thank you, everyone.
So we will send a presentation, a link to this presentation, to the recording of this presentation, to everyone who registered for today's session, for this evening's session. If you have any further question or would like to receive more information about the application process, admissions, Jerusalem, life in Jerusalem, or different courses in the program, you're of course welcome to reach out and ask us. As you can see, our
also the promotion that we're offering to those who RSVP to this.
Very important. Raz, maybe we can say a few words about the special early bird promotion. It is important to mention.
Especially for those who participated tonight or registered to the event. So we're offering 10% discount if you will apply until April 30th. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to contact us, obviously.
Quite big news, and you're mentioning it like nothing. So if I can,
not nothing at all.
It's big news even for me. So maybe we can just reiterate what you just said. For people who would apply until the end of April and have registered for this info session, the School of Business offers 10% discount, which qualifies for $3,000 that you can spend on beer and hummus in Jerusalem.
Is that retroactive?
Books, Nama, books.
Is that promotion retroactive for prior cohorts?
Only if your husband arrives.
For your husband it would, Alison. So you only have to convince him now. Fun and late. Many thanks for tonight. We'll be in touch. Stay safe and best of luck. Hope to see you in Jerusalem next year.
See you in Jerusalem. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Good evening.